Most people think flying is simple. Get to the airport, find your seat, buckle up, and you're on your way. But commercial air travel is built on a system of quiet decisions, hidden compartments, and rules no one talks about. Not because they're illegal or outrageous, but because you were never supposed to ask. From safety measures disguised as mood lighting to crew members trained to judge you before you speak, what actually happens during a flight is far more calculated than you've been led to believe. This isn't a conspiracy. It's a carefully engineered experience where convenience masks complexity and calm mask protocol. In the next 10 minutes, you're going to learn 15 flight secrets that experienced travelers know, airlines don't advertise, and that could completely change the way you fly. Subscribe, like, and share this with someone who thinks they already know how flying works, because the final secret we'll uncover isn't even taught in flight school, and you're going to want to hear it. Let's take off. First session, what you see versus what it really means. You've noticed it, but probably never questioned it. The cabin lights dim right before takeoff and landing. It feels calming, like the start of a quiet ride, but it's not for comfort. It's for survival. In the event of an emergency, your eyes need to adjust instantly to the light outside the aircraft. A brightly lit cabin would leave you half blind if you had to evacuate in the dark. So the crew dims the lights not to relax you, but to prepare your senses for what could happen next. Most passengers think it's part of the atmosphere. It's not. It's protocol. Next time you board and a flight attendant greets you with a smile, remember, it's not just hospitality. That 1-second glance is trained observation. They're not just saying hello, they're assessing every single person who steps through the door. Are you fit to help in an emergency? Do you seem agitated, impaired, ill? It's quiet profiling designed to ensure that if anything goes wrong, they already know who can handle pressure and who might cause more of it. Before you even find your seat, you've already been sized up. And while we're talking about seats, not all of them offer the same chances if things take a turn. The front of the plane might seem like a privilege. It boards first, it exits faster, but data from multiple crash investigations reveals something different. Statistically, the rear of the aircraft has a higher survival rate. The reasons vary, but in several high-impact crashes, the tail section remained more intact. Of course, every flight is different, and there are no guarantees, but if you're playing the numbers, the back may give you a better edge. Then there's the aisle seat. Easy access, but also more exposure. It's more likely to take the hit from carts, passengers, and in rough air, you're right in the path of sudden movement. It's a trade-off between convenience and risk, and most travelers have no idea they're making it. What looks like routine, lighting, greeting, seating, is often built on layers of quiet preparation. Not for comfort, for control. Second section is around hidden spaces and silent procedures. If you're on a long-haul flight and wondering when the flight attendants rest, the answer is they already are. On wide-body aircraft like the Boeing 777 or 787, there are compact sleeping compartments built directly into the structure of the plane. They're not in the back rows or behind a curtain. They're hidden behind unmarked doors or disguised panels, often accessed by a narrow staircase or a hatch. Inside, you'll find tightly arranged bunks with just enough room to lay down and recover. These spaces are built into the plane, tucked above the main cabin or below the passenger deck. So while you're flipping through a movie or adjusting your seat, the crew might be quietly asleep just a few feet above your head. It's not a secret out of shame, it's designed based on endurance. Flights that stretch into double-digit hours demand it. And it doesn't stop with the crew in the aisles. Pilots are allowed to sleep during flight. Not only allowed, on many long-haul journeys, it's expected. It's called controlled rest. The aircraft is on autopilot and pilots take shifts. While one monitors instruments, communicates with air traffic control, and stays fully alert, the other is cleared to rest. On especially long routes, there may even be a third pilot whose only job is to rotate in when the others need a break. It's not lazy, it's regulation. Exhaustion leads to error, and error is unacceptable at 36,000 feet. So yes, your captain might be asleep, but that's part of what keeps you safe. Now think about those oxygen masks. Every demonstration tells you how to put one on, but not what happens if you don't. Here's the part they leave out. Those masks only supply oxygen for about 12 to 15 minutes. That sounds short until you understand the real reason they're there. In the rare event of sudden decompression, the plane needs to descend from cruising altitude to about 10,000 feet as fast as safely possible. That descent typically takes a few minutes. The masks are there to keep you conscious during that window, and that's the critical part, because without oxygen, you lose awareness in under a minute. There's no time to hesitate, no time to think. If those masks drop, put yours on immediately. Everything else can wait. Up here, rest is planned, pressure is managed, safety is quiet, but it's never passive. Category 3 are around airline practices you're not meant to notice. Every time you board a plane, you assume the aircraft is in perfect condition. The truth is, it might not be. Airlines operate under a system called the Minimum Equipment List, or MEL. It outlines which parts of the aircraft must be working for the plane to be allowed in the air. If a coffee maker isn't functioning or a seatbelt light is out, the plane still flies. It's legal. It's routine. But what most passengers don't know is that flights regularly take off with some systems not working. You're trusting a machine with missing parts, not because it's unsafe, but because it's allowed. Technically, it's all within limits, but when you hear the word airworthy, you probably imagine something a little closer to flawless. Then there's a ticket you bought. You might think once you've paid, your seat is guaranteed. It isn't. Overbooked flights are no accident. Airlines do it on purpose because it works. They know a certain number of passengers won't show up, so they sell more seats than the plane actually has. It's a numbers game. When everyone does show up, they start offering vouchers or move people to later flights. For them, it's simple math. For you, it might mean missing a connection, a job interview, or a funeral. It's not a glitch. It's a calculated move for profit. And even the bathroom door isn't what you think. It locks from the inside, but every lavatory can be opened from the outside by the crew. Behind the occupied sign, there's a hidden latch, often under a small flap, that allows the door to be unlocked in seconds. It's there for safety. If someone becomes unresponsive, collapses, or locks themselves in during a crisis, the crew needs access. But it also means that in-flight privacy is never really private. It feels secure, but that's part of the design. Like so much in air travel, what appears to be personal is actually controlled.
If you want to fly smarter, not just safer, subscribe now. Don't wait until it happens to you. The fourth section is about what you're really consuming. The cleanest looking part of your seat may also be the dirtiest. Tray tables aren't wiped down between every flight. In some cases, they're not cleaned for days. Swab tests done by independent researchers have found bacteria levels on tray tables that rival what you'd find on public toilets. The reason is simple. Cleaning crews have limited turnaround time, and priorities go elsewhere. Meanwhile, passengers use tray tables for everything: eating, working, even changing diapers. So when you fold yours down to rest your snack or laptop, you're touching a surface hundreds of others have used without knowing what was left behind. The solution is basic, but most travelers skip it. Bring wipes. Use them. Every time. Now consider what you drink. When you ask for tea or coffee on board, that hot water isn't coming from a bottle. It's coming from the plane's internal water tank. And those tanks? They're rarely cleaned. Multiple studies, including some by airline watchdogs, have detected traces of bacteria, including E. coli, in onboard water systems. Officially, the water is within the safe limit, but unofficially, many flight attendants avoid it themselves. You'll notice that most of them stick to sealed bottled water for a reason. So if you're thirsty mid-flight, skip the complimentary tea. You're better off with something you can see was sealed before it reached you. Even the air you breathe isn't what you think. Most people assume cabin air is pumped in fresh from outside. It's not. What you're breathing is a mix of filtered outside air and recycled cabin air. The good news is that this air is processed through HEPA filters, high-efficiency particulate air systems that remove over 99% of airborne bacteria and viruses. These filters are the same type used in hospitals. But no filtration system is perfect, especially in a space shared by hundreds of people for hours. During flu season or on a packed flight, a simple mask or hand sanitizer isn't just polite, it's practical. You can't control the air, but you can control your exposure. In the air, hygiene is a personal responsibility because cleanliness is more of an assumption than a guarantee. Section 5. Mythbusters and mindful flying. You've heard it 100 times. Please switch your phone to airplane mode. And yet many passengers ignore it. They assume their phone can't possibly affect a multi-million-dollar aircraft. And in a sense, they're right. Your phone isn't going to bring the plane down. But the issue isn't catastrophic failure. It's interference. Hundreds of devices trying to connect to ground signals can create static or disruptions in cockpit communication. It doesn't happen every time, but when you're flying through dense airspace, clarity matters. Pilots rely on clean radio channels. So airplane mode isn't about fear. It's about precision. And respecting it means respecting the people flying your plane. Now here's something most passengers don't even realize happens. Lightning strikes. Planes get hit more often than you think. Statistically, each commercial aircraft is struck about once a year. And most passengers never notice. That's because modern aircraft are engineered to handle it. They're designed to conduct electrical energy through the outer shell and release it safely, without affecting systems or passengers. The aircraft doesn't absorb the strike, it redirects it. So if you ever see a flash in the window or feel a slight jolt mid-air, chances are the aircraft just took a hit and kept flying like nothing happened. But not every flight ends with a smooth landing. Sometimes a passenger dies mid-flight. It's rare, but it happens. And when it does, there's a protocol. If there's an empty row, the body may be quietly moved there and covered with a blanket. If not, they remain in their seat, respectfully covered until landing. Some long-haul aircraft are equipped with what's known as a corpse kit, a discreet package designed to handle the situation with dignity. There's no refrigerated area, no sealed compartment. Just quiet, trained preparation for an event that's never discussed but always possible. It's not about drama, it's about readiness. Aviation has learned to manage chaos in silence. The more you understand that, the more prepared you are to travel wisely. Air travel feels like a rhythm: security, boarding, takeoff, tray tables, landing. But underneath that rhythm is a structure held together by layers of calm and silent urgency. Every routine you've seen on a plane, every dim light, every friendly greeting, every locked door or oxygen mask, carries weight. Not all of it is obvious. Most of it isn't meant to be. Flying is safe, but it's not simple. The system works not because it's perfect, but because it's built to manage the imperfect. Pilots resting mid-flight, machines flying with missing parts, passengers being evaluated before they even speak. None of this is reckless. It's orchestrated, quietly, efficiently, and always with the assumption that you, the traveler, won't ask. But now you know. So if this changed how you see flying, even a little, wait until you find out what happens to your luggage behind the scenes, how bags are prioritized, why some disappear, and what really happens when a tag gets flagged. That's next. Which of these flight truths shocked you the most? Comment below. Like, share, and subscribe for more behind-the-curtain travel truths. Because the more you understand how the system works, the better your next flight will be.